Hey everybody, this is Will here with Broudy Tennis. I've got Michael, a longtime student of Jack's here. Michael, how are you today?
Great. Really excited to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So why don't you start out, just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your background as it relates to tennis.
Sure. Well, right now I'm 49. I've been playing tennis since I was maybe 13 years old. I grew up in South Florida. I trained on hard true clay with a South American coach. And so back in the day, we would literally train for hours in the sun, just really working on height and ball control and consistency. But over the years, as the rackets and string technology progressed, the game has shifted to much more of a faster paced game. And my son has become a top junior. And because of the pace that he hits, I actually started to feel frustrated because my game no longer suited the current game. And so I started to search. I honestly started searching for the very simple thing of how to not hit late. That was really the first search I came up with.
Yeah.
And I was doing some Googling, and upon YouTube, I found one of Jack's videos. And it was really fascinating because it wasn't like any other tennis training video. It was very mathematical, very scientific, and logical.
Right.
And so I was immediately super hyper interested in what he had to offer. And so I purchased one of his modules and I was just hooked. Just his methodology is so smart, which leads to making the game fun. His ebook was really, really good. He gives a free ebook with your email subscription. And I found that the ebook just really got me hooked because it made me enjoy tennis more.
Right. That's awesome. So had you been working with coaches? You're in New York, right?
Yes.
So had you been working with coaches in New York to try to kind of help some of the issues you were running into as far as dealing with the fast-paced game, not hitting late, things like that?
That's a great question. Yes and no. Yes, I tried a handful of coaches, but in New York City, it's kind of like highway robbery in terms of how much you pay per hour for coaching. And while I might get a few lessons in, there wasn't anything durable or consistent with the coaching. Whereby the virtual training I could do while I'm editing. Personally, as a professional, I'm a photographer, so I do a lot of photo editing during the days, and I could have two windows up, my photo editing and Jack's videos. And so I found that that was a much better approach for me personally, because I could really groove into my mind so many more lessons than just a 1 hour lesson could provide here locally in New York.
Right. Okay. Got it. And how long, when was this that you found Jack through YouTube? How long ago was that?
I'm thinking probably about 2 years.
2 years
now.
ago?
Yeah. 2 summers ago it was.
Got it. Okay.
And it's been slow and gradual. And then what happened is once I started diving into his videos, I wanted to meet him. So I literally, I told him I was coming out to California because I was coming to take my kids out to Coachella. And he's not too far away from that area. And I brought him to, I brought my son to meet and train with Jack. And after I discovered Jack and I reached out to him and we created a connection much greater than just the videos, we became almost like pupil and mentor. I really wanted Jack to coach my son because he's the one who is the up-and-coming player. He's playing USTA tennis. He's nationally ranked. He's playing #1 for his high school team. He's top 20 in the Northeast in his age division in the 18 and under. And he's actually now going off to college at Penn to play there. So leading up to this, over the past year and a half, I really wanted Jack to help Jonah, my son, with his training.
Okay, got it.
In addition to me.
Right. And what's it done for your son? What was his game like? What was his even his ranking potentially? I mean, what's it done for your son working with Jack?
I think it's given him huge confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's given him knowledge. It's given him the ability to learn different types of emotional responses on the court. Okay. Because of the training that he's learned with the Infinity system, and as it applies to both forehand and backhand and serves and volleys and drop shots, it's given Jonah a lot of confidence to try a number of things in addition to the psychological advantage that it provides. That motion gives you so much confidence. There was a time when Jonah had been going through a racket switch, and he lost a lot of confidence because he wasn't really grooving on this new racket. And he was able to train with Jack, and Jack, within 3 or 4 days, literally fixed the problem and brought him right back up, if not greater, on the backhand side to where he had been.
Right. That's awesome. And what about, so now you're working with Jack on kind of a virtual basis. I guess you're doing Skype calls once a week or every other week, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And how has that been? A lot of people that I talk to, when I say, I've started working with this coach, he's in San Diego, I'm in Austin, Texas. The first thing they're saying is, well, how does it work if you don't have them there on the court with you?
That is the very first thing I thought about.
Right.
And so here's how it went down. It was really very organic because I believe so deeply in Jack's system and his style of training and the videos that he's produced over the years. They've been so impactful for me that it's grown a deeper relationship between Jack and I. And so I'd reach out to him by phone, or I shoot him a video and say, "Oh my God, look how I'm playing today." I was working on the particular stroke. And so since Jack and I got closer, we started to chat informally about, well, hey, would it make sense to you if maybe we had a call, a monthly subscription where, we talked either before you're going to a match or after your match or after your practice. Would that make sense to you? And I said, honestly, I would love that. I don't know how it's going to work, but let's give it a try. Why not try? It was very, very affordable. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, let's just do it. So the first couple of sessions, we got on the call. It was a Skype call. It was me and my son, and we talked about a video. So we videotaped my son and I's play, mm-hmm. and we sent Jack maybe 5 clips. My forehand up the line and Jonah's backhand down the line. And so Jack would study it and he'd give us a feedback. So we'd have a 15-minute Skype session, mm-hmm. and then it would be on a Sunday night, and it would be a great way to wrap up the weekend and tie a little bow on it, but also to think forward into the week about what Jack had just said. Mm-hmm. And then maybe Jonah and I will be driving to the tennis court to practice, and we'll get on the phone with him right before we get on the court or right after. And so it extended beyond the Skype call to just a phone call. Mm-hmm. And so it's amazing. It's amazing because you don't need to actually have him on the court, although we could do that if you wanted to take the time and maybe Skype him a clip of the video. Mm-hmm. But it's much more of a before and after type give and take, where you really do receive valuable feedback in those little moments that you have with Jack. Right.
And how has that changed your approach on the court? So when you're going into a match and say you talk to Jack the night before or before on the way to the match or something like that, are you how's it changed your kind of mindset and your approach?
Well, I hate to say how right Jack has been at every single step of the way, but the guy is unbelievably right in every. Like, for example, um, we're talking. I just recently switched rackets
Mm-hmm.
in December, and I went from a 104, the blade 104, to the head radical, which is 98,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of dealing with string tension, and so Jack's like, why don't you string your racket at 40 pounds? And I'm like, 40 pounds? That's crazy. I mean, who
Right.
does that? Because I had been stringing at 52. And sure enough, I strung my racket at 40 pounds and it was still too tight. So now I'm thinking the things that Jack has told me, he's like, just go a little lower so you could feel the ball. So I strung my racket now at 34 pounds with Solinco Tour Bite. And it's like magic on the strings. Magic. I could feel the ball.
Wow.
And so you ask me the question, how has it changed your game and how do you take it into the court? Well, now I'm thinking, wow, I'm feeling the ball in such a different way than I was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm connecting with the ball and I'm going into my next practice with that philosophy. I'm just thinking, okay, feel the ball by holding the racket looser. Don't be so tight. Connect with the ball as you're connecting out to the 45. And so the looser you are, the looser the strings, the more rip you can get on the ball. And these are things that Jack would just plant the seed with me that I would then take into my practice for the week.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like I guess the thing that I hear over and over from the students is it's just completely changed their mindset and it's made tennis kind of fun again, which is the most exciting part for me, anyways. I know I had a match a few weeks ago after chatting with him about my serve, and he told me to start kind of pulling myself up the rope, on the serve. And the very next match, I set my own personal record for aces. So it's just even though it's virtual lessons, he can talk you. He's seen it all, so he can talk you through kind of any issues that you're running into and exactly how to fix it next time you go out there. So really, really good story there. So. Next question. So what would you say to someone, let's say a parent who has a junior who's maybe a pretty good player but struggling to kind of get over that hump? What would you say to them? What advice would you give them on dealing with something like that?
Amazing question, because I'm really that person.
Yeah.
So not only am I a player and a dad, but a father of a top junior. And so the advice that I would give to other parents who are seeking Jack as a coach, or even if you're hesitant or you really want to commit, I could tell you full 100%, just do it. What Jack provides is confidence, his style, his approach, his demeanor is so friendly, so approachable. It makes you feel good about learning, number one. Number two, the mathematical application of what he's teaching is rooted in logic and exists in everywhere you look. The infinity approach exists in nature, as he talks about. His short ebook is incredible to read as a dip your toe in the water, because it shows you that you can have fun. Your child will have fun again, learning and feeling connected to Jack. He is truly a mentor. He's so smart and so easy to learn from that it just makes the entire experience enjoyable. He has small bite-sized chunks of little videos. He's got small bite-sized chunks so that you can digest them little by little, and it makes you want to learn more and more.
Right.
Very simple. Just do it. That's my advice to the new parent who's looking for Jack as a coach.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. And right now, anybody watching, you can go to BroudyTennis.com and you can get the ebook that we're talking about and learn more about virtual lessons and things like that. Right now, I don't know how long he's going to be doing this, but right now the first virtual lesson is free, so really good deal. Obviously no risk, so trying it out. And then he's working on releasing even more courses over the next several months. I know the serve course just came out, and some other ones are going to be coming out shortly too. So really, really exciting stuff.
The serve course is amazing. Mm-hmm. It goes back to what I had just said. There are some chapters are 2 minutes, some are 3, some are only 30 seconds. But those 30 seconds are so eye-opening and wow. Take the little step before you toss, or as you toss, before you serve during the warm-up, and pull up on the rope to toss. It's little bite-sized things that you could try out in your practice. Mm-hmm. I also want to say one more thing. Jack and I and my son Jonah, we're doing the virtual coaching. And I was just at a national tournament in Arizona last month with my son Jonah. And before and after each match that Jonah played, we had a very brief 10 to 15 minute recap by phone with Jack. What happened? Oh man, I had a terrible match. I couldn't get connected to the ball. And so Jack would then break it down over the phone, because I would send Jack a brief video. Literally, it was maybe 10 seconds, 2 strokes on the backhand side. And Jack saw it and immediately could comment on it for Jonah for his very next match. So Jonah took that advice into his very next match in this national tournament. So it was like Jack was virtually there.
Right, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. The technology we have now allows us to do that, which is amazing.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And we just had there was a student who took the serve course a few weeks ago, and he actually emailed us the next day and said he's been looking for this for like 10 years, and he went out and served the best he has in a long, long time. And then the next day he went and got a serve lesson with a personal coach there. And he emailed me the next day because we had a call like this scheduled. And he said, hey, I can't do it because my coach messed up my serve again. I have to go back and rewatch the videos to get it fixed again.
Wow.
So it was pretty funny.
I have to say, I don't know if this is I think it's important to mention, I was on the court just Sunday with my son, and Jonah said, what happens when Jack can't coach anymore? Who's going to teach his lessons? And who's going to teach the way Jack? Who's going to teach his methodology? It's brilliant. Right. And it was amazing that he had that instinct. And I said to him, folks like me, folks like you, well, we are the disciples of this incredible methodology that we will pass on to you, Jonah, my son, and to you and your friends. And we hope other coaches study under Jack to really spread this message of the infinity system. And whoever doesn't have an 8 board yet, I'm telling you, this thing is it's amazing to get started with. It's just it really does change your approach to playing tennis.
Right. Yeah, and hopefully coaches watching this can, check out the book and the courses and things like that and implement some of it themselves, because you're right, that's who's going to continue to kind of spread the message and continue to help his systems spread throughout tennis and just make tennis more fun and make people better. So awesome. Any other kind of parting comments before we hop off here?
I just want to thank you and thank Jack again for being such a great mentor, and we've become great friends through this program. We call each other many times during the week, and we share great stories. I came off the court on Sunday just raving. I said to him, Jack, I'm playing some of the best tennis of my adult life, and it just feels so good. And I'm not blowing smoke. I can just genuinely say to anyone who's watching, give it a try. The videos are great. Jack's system is great, and he's a great guy, and you will love training with him. So my heart goes out to the system, and thank you guys for letting me be part of the evangelism.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. Really appreciate the time. And everybody,
Yeah.
you can check out more at BroudyTennis.com, and we will see you soon.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.